Welcome to the Mirex Media Podcast. Today, we're jumping right into some really powerful stuff. Practical strategies for actually building better habits.
Yeah, and we're pulling this straight from Atomic Habits by James Clear. Great book.
It really is. And our mission here is basically to dig into this source material and pull out the key insights, the things that can help you make those habits you want. Well, make them more obvious, easier to actually do.
Make them achievable, right? Not just wishful thinking.
Okay, so let's get into it. The source kicks off with this study. It was done back in 2001 in Great Britain, I think, and it really grabbed me.
248 people looking at exercise habits over 2 weeks. Really clear setup.
Yeah, and they split them into 3 groups. First one, the control group, did simple. They just tracked how often they exercised.
Just a baseline. Group 2, they called it the motivation group. So they also tracked exercise, but they got like extra reading material.
Right, stuff about why exercise is good for your heart health, less disease, all that. The idea was, okay, let's pump up their motivation, their why.
And here's the first kind of curveball. The results for Group 1 and Group 2, almost identical.
Seriously.
Yeah. Around 35 to 38% in both groups exercised at least once. So just reading about the benefits, that extra motivation push, it didn't significantly change anything compared to just tracking.
Wow, okay, that feels unexpected. We hear so much about finding your why.
Yeah.
But okay, what about the third group? They did something else.
They did. They got the motivation stuff too, but they also had to do one extra thing. Make a specific plan.
A plan, like how specific?
Very specific. They had to fill in the sentence. During the next week, I will partake in at least 20 minutes of vigorous exercise on day at time and place. They had to name the day, the time, the location.
Ah, okay, so not just I'll exercise more, but I'll exercise Tuesday at 5 p.m. at the gym.
Exactly. And the result?
Let me guess. Better.
Way better.
Yeah.
91% of that third group exercised at least once a week.
91%.
Yeah.
Compared to like 30-something for the others.
Yep.
More than double. It just jumps off the page, doesn't it? It wasn't about wanting it more necessarily. It was about knowing when and where you were going to do it.
That leads us right into the first big strategy the source pulls out from this, which they call implementation intentions.
Right. That specific plan, I will do X at time Y in location Z. That's an implementation intention. It's basically deciding in advance exactly when and where you're going to act.
Takes it from a vague idea to like an appointment in your schedule.
Exactly. And the source points out the 2 most powerful cues are usually time and location, just like in the study.
So the general formula is something like,
When situation X arises, I will perform response Y. And, the book cites hundreds of studies showing this works for all sorts of things.
like what else? Beyond exercise.
Oh, everything. Getting flu shots, colonoscopies, boosting recycling, studying more effectively, getting people to sleep earlier, quitting smoking, even voter turnout and paying taxes on time.
Just by writing down when and where. Just by making that specific plan beforehand, it seems to dramatically increase follow-through across the board.
So instead of, I'm going to eat healthier, which is kind of fuzzy.
You define it. When it's lunchtime, I will eat the salad I packed at my desk, or whatever works for you. The book nails it, I think. Often we think we lack motivation, but maybe what we really lack is clarity.
Ugh, we don't know how or when to start.
And the implementation intention gives you that clarity.
Ah.
It turns that foggy idea into a concrete plan.
And the beauty is, when the time comes where you get to that place, you don't have to debate it with yourself, right? Should I? Shouldn't I?
No need. The decision's already made. You just follow the script you wrote earlier. It removes that friction point.
So the simplified version for habits is just, I will behavior at time and location.
Yep. Super simple.
Give us a couple of those examples from the book again. They really help make it stick.
Sure. Like, I will meditate for 1 minute at 7 a.m. in my kitchen. Or maybe I will study Spanish for 20 minutes at 6 p.m. in my bedroom.
Okay. Or fitness.
I will exercise for 1 hour at 5 p.m. in my local gym. Even relationships. I will make my partner a cup of tea at 8 a.m. in the kitchen.
Very concrete. You can almost picture doing it. And the source mentions that fresh start thing, too, like starting on a Monday or the first of the month.
The fresh start effect. Psychologically, we feel more hopeful then, more open to change. So if you combine that natural boost with a specific implementation intention...
Even better odds of sticking with it.
Exactly. And one other benefit being specific helps you say no to things that might derail you. If you know 6 p.m. Tuesday is Spanish study time in the bedroom, it's easier to turn down a random invite for that slot.
Because it's not just a vague wish anymore. It has a time and a place. You've literally given it space in your life.
You got it. Make the cue obvious.
Okay, so that's strategy 1. Lock in a time and place. Implementation intentions. Strategy 2 also uses cues, but it links the new habit to something you're already doing. Habit stacking.
Yeah, this one taps into how our behaviors are often chained together, you know? One thing naturally leads to the next.
Like the Diderot story in the book.
Oh.
The philosopher guy.
Oh, yeah, Dennis Diderot gets this fancy new scarlet robe.
Right, and suddenly his old desk, his rug, everything else looks kind of drab next to it.
So he feels this urge, this need to upgrade everything to match the robe, buys new furniture, new art, this whole cascade of buying.
And that's the Diderot effect. Getting one new thing
Mm-hmm.
can trigger this spiral of wanting more stuff to go with it.
Mm-hmm. And we see this constantly, not just with shopping. Think about going to the bathroom that probably cues washing your hands, right? Which might cue drying them, maybe noticing the towel is dirty.
Which cues putting it in the hamper, maybe adding laundry soap to the shopping list later. It's all wing.
Exactly. No behavior happens in isolation. One action becomes the trigger, the cue for the next one.
And habit stacking basically says, let's hijack that natural tendency for good. Let's use it to build the habits we want.
Perfectly put. You find a habit you already do reliably every day, something totally ingrained, and then you just tack your new desired habit right onto the end of it.
So the current habit becomes the cue. The time and location are kind of built in already because they're part of the existing routine. The book mentions B.J. Fogg pioneered this idea too.
Right, he calls it anchoring in his Tiny Habits work. The formula Clear uses is super clear. After current habit, I will new habit.
Okay, examples, those really help.
All right, let's say you want to meditate. Your current habit is pouring your morning coffee. So, after I pour my cup of coffee each morning, I will meditate for 1 minute.
Simple, links it right there. What about exercise?
Maybe. After I take off my work shoes, I will immediately change into my workout clothes. Doesn't mean you have to work out right then, but it gets you past that first hurdle.
Good one. Or gratitude.
After I sit down to dinner, I will say one thing I'm grateful for that happened today. Relationships. After I get into bed at night, I will give my partner a kiss.
Even safety, right, like for runners.
Yeah. After I put on my running shoes, I will text a friend or family member where I am running and how long it will take.
See, these work because the cue isn't a clock time. It's an event you know is going to happen. Pouring coffee, taking off shoes, sitting down to dinner.
You're piggybacking on existing momentum.
Yeah.
And you can build on this. Once you nail one stack, you can create chains.
Like dominoes. One good habit triggers the next, triggers the next.
Exactly. So maybe your morning routine becomes after coffee, meditate, after meditating, write to-do list, after start first task, you link them all together.
Or evening.
Yep.
After dinner, put plate in dishwasher. After dishwasher, wipe counter. After counter, plate. Set out coffee mug for tomorrow.
Builds a whole positive routine. You can even insert a new habit into an existing flow.
How's that work?
Say your morning is wake up, make bed, shower. You want to read more before bed? Maybe change it to wake up, bed, place book on pillow, shower.
So the book sitting there on the pillow becomes a visual cue later when you go to bed.
Real clever.
You use the environment. And the book also has those great situational stacks, not tied to a previous habit, but to a situation or place you encounter.
Right, like triggers in the world. Yeah, perfect for stuff that isn't strictly daily, like when I see a set of stairs, I will take them instead of the elevator. Or when I walk into a party, I will introduce myself to someone I don't know yet.
Financial one. When I want to buy something over $100, I will wait 24 hours before purchasing. Healthy eating. When I serve myself a meal, I will always put veggies on my plate first.
Minimalist tip. When I buy a new item, I will give something away. The one in, one out rule.
Mood booster. When the phone rings, I will take one deep breath and smile before answering. Or the forgetfulness one, I like this. When I leave a public place, I will check the table and chairs to make sure I don't leave anything behind.
Those situational cues just make the trigger obvious right there in the moment.
So it really feels like the absolute key to making habit stacking work, whether it's after another habit or triggered by a situation, is picking the right cue. It has to be obvious and specific.
Absolutely crucial. Clear talks about his own experience trying to do push-ups. His first stack was, when I take a break for lunch, I will do 10 push-ups. But it was too fuzzy.
Right, like during the break, before eating, after, where?
Exactly. So he refined it. When I close my laptop for lunch, I will do 10 push-ups next to my desk. Super specific. No ambiguity. You know exactly when and where.
And the cue has to happen as often as you want the habit to happen, right?
Perfect point. Yeah, you can't stack a daily meditation habit after, like, watering your plants if you only do that once a week. The frequencies need to match.
So the book suggests really thinking about your day. Like, make a list of stuff you already do without fail.
Yeah, or things that happen to you reliably every day. Your commute ending, the sun setting, getting specific emails, those are your potential anchor points, your triggers. Brainstorm those.
The more specific and tightly linked that cue is, the better the chance the new habit actually happens. It just pops into your mind.
It becomes almost automatic.
Yeah.
Which brings us back really to the core idea here from the book.
The first law of behavior change.
Make it obvious.
Simple as that. Implementations, intentions give your habit a clear time and place, making that cue obvious on your schedule.
And habit stacking links your new habit to an existing obvious cue you already respond to. Both are just practical ways to engineer your life, so the trigger for the good habit is right there, staring you in the face.
Creating that clear path. Okay, so let's quickly recap the absolute key takeaways from this part of the source material.
Okay. First, the first law is make it obvious.
2 of the best cues to use: time and location.
For that, you use an implementation intention. I will behavior at time and location.
Or you link it to something you already do using habit stacking. After current habit, I will new habit.
It's all about getting rid of the vagueness, creating really clear triggers.
Makes total sense.
So here's something for you, the listener, to think about. Take one habit, just one, that you really want to build. What existing routine, what specific time and place in your day could be its perfect, unmissable cue?
Yeah, how can you make that habit obvious in your own life?
Great question to ponder. Well, thank you for joining us for this look at making habits obvious, drawing from Atomic Habits here on the Merrick's Media Podcast.
And hey, if you found this useful, if it sparked some ideas, please do give this video a like. It really helps us out.
And maybe share it with someone else you know who's trying to build better habits. Pass on the knowledge.
Absolutely.
All right.
And make sure you subscribe to the Merrick's Media YouTube channel. We've got lots more coming, digging into fascinating sources like this one.
We do indeed. Until next time.